There is a famous quote I'd like to briefly share with you from Warren Buffett, which is like Mr. Stock Market. It's kind of a drunken cycle. Some days he gets very enthused. Well, you can think about the tech bubble in early 2000, but some days Mr. Stock Market gets very depressed. You can think about the market crash in March of 2020 during the country lockdown and the COVID hit. And Mr. Buffett says that when stock market gets really enthused, you sell to him, and if he gets depressed, you buy from him. There is no moral taint attached to that. The rule of thumb in investments is that you always buy low and sell high, and it's just as simple as that. However, if you think about how investors like you and I trade in real life, you can easily find lots of counterintuitive evidence, such as naively chasing extremely high returns but sell at a huge loss. Sometimes retail investors trade too much, take extremely high leverage without thinking about the risk-return trade-off. Sometimes retail investors can be extremely sentimental, such as overreacting to good news but underreacting to firm fundamental. Most importantly, many of the retail investors like you and I are poorly diversified with huge idiosyncratic risk in the portfolio, which potentially hurts the overall portfolio performance. So in this class, I'm gonna walk you through all these basic concepts on the principle of investments. The main objective of this class is to prepare you to work in the area of portfolio management and stock research, such as being the sell-side stock analysts. We will first start from risk and return trade-off of individual securities. We will then move to portfolio optimization, trying to understand how an investor should allocate his portfolio between risky and risk-free assets and to achieve different optimization goals. For example, a portfolio with minimum risk or a portfolio with maximum Sharpe ratio. We will also utilize a few optimization tools such as Excel spreadsheet, as well as a few online optimization platforms, which can help us understand the concept efficient frontier and efficient from portfolios. Then we move to factor models to take a deeper understanding on what is called the efficient frontier and how we try to model portfolio and individual security returns. Finally, there is another key ingredient throughout our class, which is called event study. And one of this key ingredient we will explore is to measure the impact of a specific firm event on the value of a firm. For example, firms' earning announcements, M&As, macro news announcement, index changes, CEO changes. These are all important corporate events that will speak to stock returns. Finally, we will try to identify a few events by ourselves and use the WRDS online platform to quantify the effect of these events on stock returns. And we will also end up with talking about US actively managed mutual funds and investigate how these mutual funds perform relative to a few benchmarks in the US. And from the perspective of mutual fund manager and investors, how are we gonna create value for our shareholders and how we can select the best mutual funds out of all the active mutual funds. Overall, these are the important topics that we will cover in this class. Thank you all, and I look forward to meeting and talking to all of you.